Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vasil Dikov. I am a senior account manager with GDMFX, and I will bring you today's market outlook. We will start with the North American markets and the events from there. Yesterday we had the housing price index for the month. It came out 0.1% weaker than expected at 0.2%, and the dollar was slightly up yesterday against the euro and the yen, with investors reluctant to make aggressive moves ahead of an expected speech from Janet Yellen at the Jackson Hole summit. Investors are directionless leading up to the event, as this past week trading has shown. Everyone is waiting to hear what she will have to say on the interest rate decision from the central bank. The Dow was 7 points down, the Nasdaq was 35 points down, the DXY is up to 94.7 from 94.66. The currency pair movements were in the range of 20 to 40 pips across the board, with the biggest mover, the dollar versus the Swiss franc, it was 40 pips up. Today we're going to have the first day of the Jackson Hole summit, and also initial jobless claims, durable goods orders, and including transportation, market services PMI, market PMI composite. Moving on to Europe and the EU markets. After the earthquake that shook Italy, the euro depreciated with 40 pips versus the dollar. Secondary quakes rocked the country again this evening. The death toll continues to count. It's over 240 people already. Today the events on the calendar will include GDP data from Spain, the German IFO business climate, the IFO current assessment, and the IFO expectations. Moving on to the UK, we had the BBA mortgage approvals, came out negative at 37,662,000. But the resilient UK economy drove the pound to a 3-week high versus the dollar and a third consecutive day of gains. Sterling gained 0.3% versus the euro and 0.8% versus the dollar. Despite the glimpse of good performance, the pound remains the worst performing currency among the majors right now. The FTSE 100 was 27 points down, closed at 6,816. Yesterday, the biggest mover was the pound versus the Swiss franc, 95 pips up. And later on today, we're going to have the CBI distributive trade survey realized. Moving on to the Asian markets, we had the foreign bond investment, which dropped to 433.1 billion yen from the previous reading of 1,297.6 billion yen. And the foreign investment in Japan stocks fell to minus 229.6 billion yen versus 92.5 billion yen previously. The Nikkei 225 was 20 points down. The biggest mover in Asia was the US dollar versus the Chinese yuan, which gained 127 pips. In the Pacific, the Australian and the New Zealand dollars moved higher against their US counterpart on Thursday, as sentiment on the greenback became more fragile ahead of the US data due later in the day and a speech by Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen on Friday. The Australian dollar versus the US dollar rose with 0.21%, and the New Zealand dollar eased against the greenback with 0.08%. Finally, the commodities section of the market. The EIA crude oil stock exchange decreased by 455 barrels for the week ending on August the 27th. Crude oil prices plunged as the US report showed increasing crude oil and refinery product inventories. The front month crude contract plunged with minus 2.77% to close at $46.77, the lowest level in more than a week, with the Brent contract dropped with 1.82% to settle at 49.05. For the 24 hours to the 23.00 GMT, gold declined with 0.8% against the US dollar. It closed at 1,328 per ounce. The S&P 500 index had a range of 18 points. It's at 2,173 right now. Gold had a range of $17 up to 1,326 right now. Silver had a range of 47 cents at $18.60 right now. Crude oil had a $1.30 range up to 46.85 right now. Natural gas is trading at $2.77 at the moment with a range of 6 cents. And on Thursday we're going to have the EIA natural gas storage change, and on Friday, as usual, the Baker Hughes oil recount. That is all from me. Thank you and have a nice day.